All right, welcome back to the channel. So we got an issue this morning. I'm trying to get this money and this car is putting up a fight. So I'm gonna help y'all out and show you how you can solve this problem yourself. So let's dive right in and I'll show you what I got. So here's what I got. 2006 Lincoln Zephyr. I did buy this. It's no longer available bidding. I own this car. This lovely, lovely car. All right, so front bumper, that's our issue. We've ordered all the other parts. I've got everything. They don't have nothing local. So as you can see, the front bumper's tore off the car. You can see clearly right here that it is cracked and it's pretty messed up. It's ripped off the car. This side, hey, and look at that panel painting. Remember how we went over in the other videos how bad panel painting can look, and how a couple of my videos I've showed you and told you do not panel paint. This is what you get when you panel paint. You look at the front door to the back door. Terrible stuff. Somebody did not blend that out, and now I'll probably end up having to blend this out or just accept it and sell it as is. Anyway, let's get back to our problem. So this front bumper on this Lincoln Zephyr, this bad boy, I can't get it for under $500. It's absolutely crazy. So here's what we got. So if we go to eBay, that's my go-to. First off, I've already called my local bumper supplier, and they don't have it, it's on back order. The dealer is not going to be an option. It's going to be more than eBay, or the same. It will not be cheaper than eBay. Especially Ford parts, Lincoln parts, sometimes they're hard to find. Aftermarket is expensive often because Ford doesn't release their patents on a lot of stuff to produce aftermarket. So yeah, local is just not an option. The junkyards here don't have it. It's not an option, so you got to go to eBay. Order it through your dealer. $458. This is the front bumper we need. Okay, here's another one. That's going to be $400. $400. $740 with the grill. So you catch my drift here? This is expensive. So you're paying $400 or $500 to get this bumper. And most of the ones that are new that don't have an issue, just the bumper itself is going to be $500 all day long. So we also can check carpart.com. If you are flipping cars and you use it, carpart.com is a good website to use. You can see them right there. It sorts through local junkyards near you off of your zip code. So here's one. So this one right here, this 07 one, is in Philadelphia. Okay, I'm in North Carolina. See the problem here? PA. I'm in North Carolina. Okay, so there's not one local to me either, and even all the way up here is 350, 350, 365, 436. Okay, so we got a big problem with this bumper. This thing's going to take a $400 to $500 hit to our wallet if we don't figure out how to fix this thing. So we're not buying it. We're not buying it through the dealer. We're not buying it, period. I'm going to go back here and show y'all, if you get in this situation with a part like this, how to fix it. So let's check out what we got. All right, so here's what we got. Here's our bumper. So I got hit in the front. All of this stuff is no issue at all. You can tell it's dented in, so we will heat this up from the inside. Go in here, heat that up, push that out. We'll patch this hole in here. That's all simple. This down here is not that big a deal. I probably won't even mess with this because your grill clips in and covers around the edge, so you won't even really see it. I'll probably, I don't know, I might fill it in, but I'm not really worried about that. This is what we got to put back together. So like I said, this is a $500 bumper, and so I'm definitely forced to repair it. So what we're going to do first is, I've got my grill over there. I'm going to take my grill and clip it in. You want to clip your grill in. You have these little holes inside here that the grill goes in. That way it sets your spacing, okay, your gap right there, because you might actually have a bigger gap than you think. And once you do that, then you can do your repair. We're going to do just like we did on the golf cart video, and we're going to bevel the edges of all this plastic, and we're going to go ahead and sand some of this out just to get some of this loose paint out the way. But we're going to bevel everything this way, bevel everything from the backside, and then set the grill in there to set our distance, and then we're going to do the plastic repair. So I'm going to throw y'all on a time lapse while I prep this out, and I'm going to prep all this out for starting to do the repair.
So this is the product we're using to repair this. This is the same thing we used on the golf cart. The product number is 4057. It's a quick set 50. It sets up in 50 seconds and cure time is 15 minutes. We're going to have to do this in multiple steps. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get it all in one hit because there's just so much going on. That's it. So here's your mixing nozzles that I'm using to refill with. This is 3M product. There's the product number 08193. If you don't have these at your local paint supplier, I'm sure you could put these 3M and this product number in on Amazon and get these, or eBay, and I'm sure you can do this also on Amazon or eBay and get them brought right to your door. Once you put the nozzle on there, it goes up inside of this zigzag pattern and it self mixes. So you have the hardener on one side and then the actual component on the other side. So they're designed to zigzag back and forth as it loads itself in there, and that's what mixes it. So right now in the canister they're separated left to right. As it goes through there, it mixes it up. The correct way to do it is to let a little out the end as waste. That way it can preload itself. But this stuff's so expensive that I don't do it. I don't do it. You can watch a lot of instructional videos on this of how to load it, and normally it seems like it's always big certified body shops that can afford to throw away 5%, 10% of this tube. I can't afford to throw this stuff away. It's not cheap, so I don't do it. So I haven't had a problem yet. But if you want to do it the correct way, you can look up instructional videos on that, and that's going to be the correct way to do it. So I'm going to get this loaded in the gun, and we'll purge this, get this all together, and then we will get this on the product and get it spread out. Let me show you what I got going on with the bumper. So when I put everything together, I then took the angle grinder, if you notice, or the 90-degree grinder, and went in and beveled basically dug a channel out to kind of open it up so the filler has something to set in. We had a gouge here, so we're going to go ahead and catch that with this, and there's actually a hole through here, so we're going to catch that. So we're basically going to smear out that. I did go ahead and just kind of cut my body line back into here because it was really tore up right here from the accident, but that is going to get filled in naturally when I go over this. And then what I'm gonna have to do is, after we put some filler on it, you're actually gonna have to put your body line back in it. So we've taped the grill up to protect the grill. The grill's clipped in place to set the distance. And what happened, believe it or not, is when we clipped the grill in, this piece was overlapping this piece. So if you would have just butted them together and done your repair, then your grill wouldn't have fit in. So that's why it's important to load your grills in or something to set the width, because when these bumpers get in an accident, sometimes they tear, distort, stretch, all kinds of stuff. On the bottom, we have the 90, or we have it beveled out and cut, and then we just have some vice grips holding that together. And we've also, if you watched, we took a 2x4, put a 2x4 on the back side, and put sheetrock screws through the face of it. All that is for support, to hold all this together really firm while this sets up. So we've supported it from the back side, got screws holding it together, that way we don't have to worry about no clamps, and that also sets it so that this is flat. So if you were just clamp it here, then your bumper still could be sagging like this or sagging too much like this. So by putting the board on the back, screwing that down, that sets it as nice and flat. Once this is all solid and repaired, you'll be taking your screws out, and then you'll be filling the screw holes in with some repair also. You have this little hole right here that says tear. We're going to get some filler in that. I took some 80 grit and just sanded this area, not really for adhesion, just to get rid of this flaking paint and kind of see what I got. When I started sanding it, that's when I found these other gouges, and that just kind of helps flatten it out a little bit. It's going to get sanded more afterwards. This down here, again, there's going to be nothing you can really do about it. We'll kind of flex this open like this, get some in it, and then just close it back, and that's just going to be, it's so low you won't really see it, so we're not really worried about that. But let me throw y'all on the GoPro, and we will get this filled in and get this spread out. Alright, so if you watch this right here, like I just showed y'all, this is going to, as it comes in there, it's going to pre-mix itself as it goes down through all of the chambers. So when it comes out the end, it's going to be all mixed up. All right, we've cut a old body filler spreader to use, and we're gonna rock and roll. So you're just gonna lay enough in there to get it where you can spread it out. We're gonna go ahead and hit all of our other spots. You wanna get all your stuff laid on there first. That way if it dries, you just have to do a lot of grinding work versus
messing up and then the nozzle hardening up. Let's catch this one right here. That one is probably going to sink in and we have to got from the back side. Flow a little bit more across this while we got it, just to make sure, because this is about to start hardening up and get this crack. And we're going to go ahead and get this crack. Like I said, we're going to open this up, try to get some in there. We will get this one again from the back side. Now pretty much that nozzle's trashed. And you just don't want to leave a ton on there, because everything that you leave on there, you've got to take off. And you don't really want to be grinding, especially up inside here. All right, spread all this out. You can see it's already starting to pull. It's already flashing that fast. And if you were to touch it, like I just accidentally touched it, it is hot, because it works off of a chemical reaction. So you really have to work fast. And that's it. It's already flashed up that fast. Nothing you can do about it. I'm gonna try to scrape my body line out so it's less I have to cut. Let me see if the nozzle's hardened up. Sometimes if you're lucky, yep, you can get a little bit more to come out of your nozzle. And don't put your finger in it like I just did. That one really should have had a hole, should have had tape on the background, but I had everybody running their mouth to me about filming and got distracted.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, I'm talking about you. But it's fine because it started to set up a little. We're going to go ahead and just add a little bit more in this area, but our nozzle's pretty much set. Yeah, see that piece is, can't even spread it out really. So I'd rather put plastic repair on this than a bunch of body filler. Body filler cracks, whereas this stuff's not. So I'd rather try to get some plastic repair, but that's gonna be it. So that's what, you know, you got it all spread out. You got it bonded in there. You got your inside done right there. And then you got your hold filled. So that's all you're gonna be able to do on that hit. That nozzle's trash now. There's still more in the gun, but the nozzle's trash. You're gonna have to replace that to move forward. But we're gonna let this set. It's 10:30 now, so we take lunch at 11, and after that sets, you know, about 12 or so. Even though it sets in 15 minutes, I'm still gonna get plenty of time. I'm gonna flip it over, and then when I flip it over, I'll do the repair on the backside, and I will catch these screw holes to fill them in. That gets heated up and pushed out, you know, and then we're going to roll some more of this on the inside back there, and then our bumper should be repaired, and then we can move forward with body fillers and primer. All right, so we got our bumper undone. I just took the screws out of it, took the board out of it. As you see, you can pick it up, shake it. She's pretty solid, but what we're going to do now is flip it over. See here, hanging in one piece. Look at that, see? It's already feeling solid, but we're gonna go ahead and patch it from the back side also. So what you got back here, you can see all of the cracks. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take the grinder over it, grind over all that, and then reinforce it. And we need to go ahead and cut this off because it'll probably hit your crash bar since that is globbed out. I need to make sure that's out of our way, and then we will run some on the inside of here just to make sure that's all good. Even though that turned out really good, it squished through. So that should be a really strong corner. But we're gonna go ahead and grind this backside out and get this all cleaned up, and then put a coat over our screw holes, which are right here, and that little hole right there. And then we should be good to go to move into body work.
All right, now all we're gonna do is take our mesh. You see it's a sticky back. We're just gonna go ahead and stick it over this area. This is just gonna help give a little bit of strength, and then all the plastic repair is gonna push down through that. Get our gun, make sure it's released. Change your nozzle out, because again, that one's hardened up from the first one this morning. I'm actually using a different style nozzle this time. This one just screws straight on. It doesn't take this little piece. So this one just screws on like that. Same thing, load it up, and we're just gonna get it on here. Make sure it gets all over your crack. And we're gonna go ahead and hit the back side of this, and then there's 2 little holes in that. So we're just gonna put a little extra over this. That's something to work with. And now, just like we did this morning, just gonna smooth it out. And all that mesh does is just supposedly helps it bond a little better, or helps it add a little strength to it. That's all that does. So I have been told. And this is going to get all of our screw holes also, which actually, let me see if I can get from the bottom, make sure the screw holes are got before my gun hardens up. Yeah, go ahead and get a little on this side. So that's your repair. So you got your lip that comes all the way up and around. You got all the inside of your bumper, you got the back side of your bumper, you got all the way to your grill. I'll put that together. You got that cut through, and we went ahead on the other side and got the sheetrock screw holes, the 2 holes right there, and I'll put a little bit more on this one. So now after this dries here for 15 minutes, then what we're gonna go ahead and do is you'll sand all this smooth right here, and then we'll flip it over and sand this top side, and then skim coat this top side out with filler. All we're gonna do on this area that's humped in, because we're going to heat it up really good with the heat gun, and then we're actually going to push it out with the hammer, and then let the sledgehammer sit on it while it cools down, and then we'll skim coat the outside of the bumper with body filler. You don't want to put a ton of body filler on it because it will crack, but doing, you know, a normal 16th or 8th thick skim coat, you know, will be all right. An 1/8 is pushing it, but an 1/8 is not terrible. So we're just going to get this area nice and hot. We're going to go ahead and start testing it. There it goes. So it just pushes right out. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and stop with our heat. And I'm going to just put this hammer on here and put a little heat around it just to help it push down, and I'm gonna go ahead from the bottom and check it. And I'm gonna probably throw some heat from the bottom. So we want some heat right here on this body line. And this body line holds a lot of strength. So right here on this edge where this line runs, it has like a dimple in it. Yep, and that was actually right there where it got hit. That's where that dimple's at. So you're just going to position your hammer until you kind of get it the way you want it to go. And now I'm going to take y'all under the bottom. So you got your hammer sitting there, and then there's where you can see that it had originally took that hit, and we did that repair. We probably honestly should have straightened this out before we did the repair, because the repair is holding it to a certain extent. It don't want to go back, so it probably would have been best to do your straightening it out first, fold your plastic little tear back into the hole, and then do the repair. But either way, this all has to be skimmed out because you still have a slight arch up right here, so all of this will get skimmed. But I'm just gonna leave it like that and let it cool. It's got a good shape back to it. It's not humped in all nasty. It's out a little far right here, but by the time you fill in this low right here, then it should straighten out. You can kind of see right there. You can see where it's bulged out a little. But then we can actually probably go and you could heat that up. You can push that back up. But I think I'm gonna just leave it alone. This is what I currently have on the top side. I'm not going to bore y'all with the body filler part of it because it's just how to repair a bumper. So really it's just I wanted to go over to straightening it, and then of course you got to do body work. I will show y'all the results, as the steps go by, but I'm not going to bore you like on how to do body filler. But you can see right there how we have that low. Okay, there's a low right there. So what I'm going to do now is take 80 grit, and from like here all the way to here, because I've already sanded all this, we're going to really aggressively sand this to get the flake and paint off and try to cut some of these little bit of highs out. You don't want to cut through, but you still want to cut some of the high spots out. And then we'll be skimming this from about right here all the way across this again with filler, because this is low and this is a high. But we just want to straighten that out. And when you get done, you're going to have filler that's about a 1/16 of an inch thick in a lot of places, and then these lows, it'll be a little bit thicker, but you're not going to have too much on there where it's going to crack. And you can use other products out there that have like the fiberglass hairs in them. That's going to be a little bit stronger, or you can use a more flexible product like a Dolphin Glaze on it. It's going to be a little bit stronger, but I have got really good results with this. So here's our bumper in the booth. We're about to put it through primer. We're going to also go ahead and prime this while it's in here. But yeah, so let me go over a couple things to make myself perfectly clear on this. Do I recommend doing this? No. Would I ever do this for a paying customer? No. Would I ever basically do this for a customer that is hired to my shop to repair their bumper? No, I would not. This is only done on any of our used cars. There's salvage titles when we're in a situation where the bumper is just worth more than is practical for repairing the car. So $500 for a bumper on a Lincoln is it MKZ? No, it's a Lincoln Zephyr that I think has like 170-some thousand miles on it or something. Yeah, they don't make no sense. So this is how you can do it if you get yourself in a situation where you're kind of forced to repair something versus replacing it. If we make $1,000 on a car, let's say the profit margin was $1,000 on this car, and you put a $500 bumper on it, you just cut your profit margin in half. So the whole point of flipping cars is to make money. I'd much rather, instead of spending $500 on a bumper, I'd rather repair it, a couple hours in it, and put the $500 in my pocket. If you want to take my time out of it, then okay, put the $400 in my pocket. My advice to you is keep as little filler on it as possible, because that can lead to cracks and stuff down the road. As long as the bumper is used under normal circumstances and not flexed a lot, continuously running into curbs, stuff like that, you're probably never going to have an issue out of it. You can see the cut throughs where it's back to black plastic, so it's not super thick through here. That is where our split was. Let's see here. It was split right here. We also had to put the line back in there, the body line, because it was completely gone. So I have put the body line back in it. Basically, now we're just going to throw it to a primer. I'm not going to probably show y'all all the way to paint on this one, because I don't think I'll get it painted before this video is ready to be edited. And you're not watching this video to see it painted anyway. You're watching this video to see how to put a bumper back together and save yourself, a couple $100. So I will show it through primer, how it looks when it's all one color versus how it looks now. The primer will be textured in some areas where the plastic is, because it'll still need to be blocked out. But yeah, we're going to roll Bulldog over the whole entire bumper for all the areas that are plastic, because you don't want to paint on top of raw plastic. You definitely want to get some Bulldog on it, adhesion promoter, and then we're just going to roll some heavy coats of primer all over it. And I will show y'all what we got whenever we're done. All right, so we're going to mix our primer up for this. We are doing 4 to 1 to 1. So we're going to bring our primer up to, let's see here. Let's go ahead and do the 3 line. All right. In the next line, you're going to bring it up. You're going to match the number. Okay. So we're on the number 3. So now we're going to go to the 1 column, and we're going to go to our number 3 with hardener. That's going to be right there. Now we're going to also add reducer. So we're going to go to our next number 3 line in the last number 1 column. It's a little above it, but there you go. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to actually throw 1 cap of accelerator in it just to make it flash off a little quicker. Mix that up, toss it in your gun, and then go shoot it. For our bumper, we are going to put Bulldog adhesion promoter down. This is what helps make paint stick to plastics, and we'll let it flash off for about 3 to 5 minutes is what I will allow it to flash, and then we will rock and roll with our primer over that. I am using my eBay knockoff Devil Bisque gun. I love the way this thing sprays. I don't even clean this thing out for primer, so I used to use it for clear coat, and then it started I think it started leaking around the cap or the cup, and so I actually JB welded I think the cup shut inside there, and so now I don't use it for clear no more because I can't actually break it down and clean it. But yeah, I'm gonna get this top on and we're gonna go shoot it. Come back in to get the closing of this. This is Friday. You know, Wilmington is supposed to, we got this ice front and snow and all this mess moving in. So I gave my employees the day off. It's not worth your employees chancing being out and about in it. There's no reason. You don't need to work another day. You'll be perfectly fine hanging out at the house. But I came in for y'all to just do literally just this closing statement so I can edit this video so y'all are not without videos, you know, and then we keep pounding them out. But that's your bumper. You know, I'm not gonna film the blocking of the bumper and sanding it and prepping it for paint and all that. This video is long enough. This video was supposed to be just about repairing it, and then the quality that you want in your bumper determines how much, you know, you actually prep your bumper. If you spend more time prep, you get a better product. Paint's all in the prep work. So that is what it is. Hopefully you learned something. You can apply this to a ton of things. Your race car, if you're doing that valence that I showed on my channel for the comment that goes around front, you got the little exhaust hole that needs to be patched. You can patch it the same exact way with the same exact materials. So like, comment, share, subscribe. I appreciate everything y'all are doing. Let's keep growing this channel, and I'll keep feeding y'all free information and free tips and advice. I'm back to the house.